Yeah.
But let's get started with our interview, everybody. We have Mr. Aaron Clark here. He is from Credit Mechanics, Philly Credit Mechanics, and we are excited to have him here because we have a lot of good questions for him. So hello, Aaron. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, thank you for coming in
Yeah,
tonight.
thanks for
we
coming
really
out.
Appreciate it. Well, so how do we even get started with this? Because I feel like credit is one of those things that is like
you need it.
You need it, but it's also something that can hang like a dark cloud hanging over a lot of people.
Right.
So a lot of people have a lot of questions in regards to how credit affects everything that they do, along with, of course, how they can get good credit, right?
Sure.
But before we jump into that, let's just talk a little bit about you. So you started Philly Credit Mechanic. From what I saw, you actually had a 400 credit score and you went to a 700 credit score. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wow. So that's amazing in itself. So I have a question about that later.
I mean, that's where we're gonna go. That's where I'm at. Let's go.
Right. But really, my first question is, who is Aaron Clark? How did you kind of get started?
It all started when I was in the military, because that's where I turned 18 at. That's when I first started establishing credit. And I did the thing most people do. I got a secure credit card from Capital One, paid that on time for 6 months. They gave me the deposit back. That's usually how a secure credit card works. You give them a deposit, they give you a credit card back. You prove you pay on time for at least 6 months, and it'll give you the deposit back. I came home with really good credit. I was like 19 years old. I had a luxury apartment, my first place.
Wow.
I had a nice Cadillac, DTS at the time. Only 19, so having good credit can definitely get you nice things.
Yeah.
And what happened was I was letting my credit confuse me with me actually having money. A lot of people don't understand the difference. Just because you have credit doesn't mean you have money. However, you can use credit to make you money,
right,
if you use it right. But if you're just like, oh, okay, I want to go on vacation, I don't have $2,000 in cash, but I have $2,000 in credit, you're already going down the dark path. And with me, it was splurging. It was trying to live outside my means. I would use my credit card for everything from sneakers to clothing to dates to vacations, you name it. I would just swipe. And then I had lost a job, and times got hard, and it was, okay, do I pay Capital One or do I eat this week?
Right.
And that's what most people's story is when their credit
they have decisions to make.
Yeah, they make a few bad decisions over a
period of time. Yeah.
And then it just piles and piles, and then your one big money hiccup, whether it's job loss, some people get hurt, and with some people, they don't understand how compounding interest works. You just keep making those minimum payments on your credit card, you're going to keep owing more and more money every month, and people like, I've been paying on this credit card for a year, why do I owe more?
Right.
And that's because they're never going to make the minimum payment equal to what the interest rate is. The interest rate might be adding $30 on when your minimum payment might be $15.
Right.
So you're adding debt on every month. So I sabotaged my credit. I went to several credit repair companies. One company in particular that I went with was Lexington Law. They're the number one credit repair company in the country.
Heard of them before.
And when I say number one, I mean number one by numbers. Has nothing to do with service. It's just like McDonald's. McDonald's is number one restaurant in the world, but most of us wouldn't go there, for dinner.
Correct.
Right.
So I started with them. I'm not gonna lie, they actually got me a few deletions, but one problem I had with their model was on getting you deletions, not actually teaching you about credit. Because even when I was done with them and I got a few deletions, I'm like, well, what now? And that's kind of where they take this step back. Well, look, you're paying us for deletions. You're paying us for an attorney to dispute on your head.
We're not paying you for knowledge of what to do.
Exactly. You're not paying us to teach you how to build your credit, because no one can build your credit for you.
Okay.
That's something that has to be strategically done, and someone has to coach you through it. Because some people think, oh, building my credit is going out and get a car note for $30,000 and being on time with that, or building my credit is going to apply for every credit card that I can, see what I get approved for, and pay on time.
I guess that's a misconception, because I think a lot of people hear that a lot, especially a lot of like college students or people starting out to try to get credit. It's like, oh, you have to build your credit. Let's start by a car loan, and as long as I'm paying it on time, my credit is going to be great by the time the loan is over, and different things of that nature. So is that like, do you believe that one of the misconceptions is how to actually build credit?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people don't know that a car note, all it is, it's a loan that's getting paid down over a course of time. So you can build your credit with that the same way you can with a secure loan you can get from your bank. You can go to your bank, give them $300, they'll give it to you back as a check for a loan. You pay back your own money, and boom, you just got a paid off loan, which is just as good as getting a car note. The only drawback with that and how purchasing a high value car can help your credit out a little bit, and this is the problem I had. So once, fast forward, my credit became good. I went to the Range Rover dealership to get a Range because I'm like, all right, my credit is good. Let me get this Range. And the first thing they said was, look, we got you approved. It's just that the range that you want is out of the limit we can approve you for because you never had credit that high before.
Wow. And
that's another mistake people make. People think, oh, I have a 750. I can go get a Maserati right now. Well, no, you only had 3 secure credit cards your whole life.
So you don't have any credibility in regards to something that expensive.
Right. Exactly. The Range Rover I wanted was like a $90,000 car. That's almost a house on wheels.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, give you that. And you just started building credit a year ago.
Right.
So, I had to downgrade to get the Jag. And, once that hits my credit, that can help me get approved for a higher, value cars. But that's kind of where it stops at.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need to do that. Most people don't want to go get a Range Rover and they're only 24, 25. Or most people, they're trying to purchase homes and start businesses. And I tell most people, if you're trying to improve your credit to get this dream car, you might want to think that over a few times because just having a Jaguar and I make the money to afford it, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Everything is 10 times more expensive. You go get gas,
$20
more.
Right.
Maintenance. An oil change for a Jaguar is at least $300-400 versus the $60-70 you're paying for an Impala.
Right.
And then cars, you go through that honeymoon phase. First, the first 6 months, 3 months, it's new, you're excited.
Then it's just a
Instagram's
car.
popping.
Then it's just a payment.
Exactly. Now it's just a bill. Now I was like, I can't wait to get rid of this car.
Right.
Me and my clients say, hey, is there any way you can get me out of this car?
Really?
I'm like, you just got it a year ago. Yeah, but I decided I don't want it anymore because most people, they buy off an impulse.
Correct.
Someone said, you're approved.
And desire.
Right. You're approved. And there's a car you always wanted. And you was like, yeah, if I stretch things just a little bit, I can just make the car
too many variables in between, man.
Exactly.
So I'm going to rewind a little bit. So after Lexington Law or the other several companies that you went through, when did it kind of become to you like, hey, can I do this myself?
Yes. I decided that when the last person that was working on my credit, when I seen that she was a regular person like me, she wasn't a lawyer, and once I found out that whole Lexington Law is a bunch of bull crap, it's just a bunch of people in the Philippines disputing on your behalf. They just had one attorney that's partnered with the company, so they're able to throw that on there. And I'm like, well, maybe I should give a stab at it myself. It can't be that hard. So then I learned about the laws, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, HIPAA, the Fair Credit Billing Act, a few different laws. Because I wanted to understand how credit repair worked. A lot of people want to know, does it work? But they don't want to know, how does it work?
I will admit I'm that person because I've been that girl that I've done at least 2 credit programs, and the last one that I did, they totally got me for my bread. I'm not even not even gonna lie about that. And like you said, they got me some deletions, but I saw a very minimum credit score increase. So I will say, okay, I paid for them to took some deletions off, but I will always be like, but what's next? After this contract with us is over, what do I do?
Right.
And no one could really give me like an answer.
That's
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I was like, but I've given you several hundreds of dollars at this point. Because you're thinking, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever. And once that 6, 7, 8 months lapse and you do the math, you're like, okay, where am I at now? You should be at a place. I think people have false expectations that after that process, you're going to be at this 700 point, or let me go run out and get a house, because that's what I was like. I'm doing this because I want to get my first house, but whatever. And when I was done my 8 months, it was like, nah, you're not getting a house yet. You get what I'm trying to say? And they didn't really have any answers to what was next.
Wow.
So with that, we're going to take a really quick break because I think we have some questions about misconceptions, and especially with like credit bureaus. People have a lot of questions about that, especially like I do. Like, why does everyone have a different number? Why do some credit bureaus report different things?
Like that. It can be so confusing.
It varies for the regular person who has no idea what's going on. We're like, you're like, okay, Equifax, but this one says this one, that one says that one.
TransUnion.
What the heck does this mean, right?
What is happening?
And then we'll get into the Credit Karma thing. That is always,
yes, I love talking about that.
You see the commercials all the time, free credit, Credit Karma, whatever. I'm checking my joint every day.
Yeah.
But you're up with Pusha T. Who do you have?
Pusha T featuring Jay-Z, Drug Dealers Anonymous.
All right, you guys. We'll be right back. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here on What a Ice Radio with Aaron Clark from Philly Credit Mechanics, everybody.
Stay right there.
Don't go anywhere. Get into it. So the whole credit thing, basically you're saying that it makes our economy continue to go?
Absolutely, because our country runs off of debt. This me being a veteran, being in the military, I used to study a lot of the past wars we were in. Like, for example, I believe it was the Revolutionary War when we went at it with England. America had to borrow millions and millions of dollars from other countries because we didn't have the resources to do what we needed to do to get the weapons and the armor and the stuff we needed. But then after we won, and we was able to restore a lot of the trades that we had, then we was able to pay them back.
Okay.
And because credit has been around for hundreds of years, it's just
not as we know it.
Right. Now it's more systemized where, okay, you can make a few decisions and that'll determine the bank giving you $100,000 or giving you, the exit sign.
Right.
So the reason why I tell people a lot of times that the credit game is rigged, because let's just say, for example, the Affordable Home Buying Act, I think is what it's called. That just got into minorities and African Americans' favor within the last 30 years?
Yeah,
30,
if
40
that,
years?
But it's been around for a while.
It's proven that they don't want people of a certain ethnicity to live in certain neighborhoods.
Correct.
And to buy,
especially in the
property.
suburbs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's when they put that law out there. Now it's like, okay, how else can we keep them from buying houses and moving into the neighborhoods? Credit.
Yep.
What we're going to do is, no matter how important it is, we're not going to put it in school, or we're only going to put it in the schools where we need them to know about credit. Because think about it this way: if all the minorities in these rundown areas that gentrification and all that stuff is going down, then decided to wise up, like, you know what? Let's make sure when our kids turn 18, they don't mess their credit up, and then we can use their credit that we already messed up to rebuy back all of our neighborhoods.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that having a credit score of a 750 gives you the purchasing power of over $100,000 minimum when you know how to use it. So what they do is they keep bombarding us with all these, high interest credit cards. It's gonna give these low limits. So even though the limits are low, we're not that much risk to the company. We're adding more interest and falling more in the debt and the debt and the debt. Most of the time, I look on someone's credit report, it's Victoria's Secret, it's Best Buy, it's things that we didn't need. And I was watching this documentary on Netflix. I think it's called, oh my God, it was like 17-minute segments, just like explained. I think it's called Explained or something like that.
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah.
Oh man, when they was going into the part about how like an African American graduating college will make less than a white person graduating college only because their family depends on them because they're the most successful person to take care of them.
Wow.
Where on the white side, all their other cousins and brothers have degrees, so they're not too much relying on them. It's the same thing when it comes to the credit. Everybody know grandmom has good credit, and guess what? Grandmom's not trying to help anybody else because she wants y'all messing it up because she doesn't trust y'all.
It took years for her to get to that point.
Exactly. See, the older generation, they understand how important credit was because when they were our age, they didn't have it, or they didn't have the knowledge, or it wasn't as powerful as it was back then. But now, credit influences how much you're going to pay on your car insurance. How many lines you're going to get approved at AT&T or T-Mobile. Even the neighborhood you're going to live in. If you have a bad credit score, you think those nice apartment places are going to rent out to you?
Nah.
They're not.
And you also got to think like everything's cost more too, so it's going to be even more added, like more interest, more just fees and everything else. So that just adds on top of that. Yeah, it's crazy.
And think about it. Think about what Jay-Z said. He said, how do you think Jews bought all the real estate in America? And he said credit, right? Yeah. So if you take that away from us, I'm going to say minorities because not just us. They target Latinos as well.
Absolutely.
And immigrants. So they keep us in these horrible areas because we can't afford to buy out and own our own property. And they're coming right back into where we live and reselling it back to us by making us rent.
Right.
And since the education that I give my clients is not mainstream, a lot of people is still going over their head right now. They're like, wow, I have a 700 on Credit Karma. I have a purchasing power of 100,000.
Right.
Now we going into another field right now.
Right. Like, it's like you can, but don't.
It's so many different levels.
Because that's a good point that you say, you can, but don't. And I think that a lot of people, like, they get to that point where they're like, okay, my credit is good. I can go out and get that, again, that car, that house. I can get that credit card with a really high limit. But then it doesn't add up to what your income looks like, right?
Exactly.
And then you get into a hole. We talked about that a little bit in the beginning. So I wanted to kind of ask you, with that in mind, you mentioned something like Victoria's Secrets, like the store cards, the Best Buys. Those store cards, yay or nay?
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with having a mix. So if you really just shop at Victoria's Secret like all the time, and they're giving you 20% off, and annual fee is only $95, why not?
Yeah.
And it comes to the point where every time you go to the cashier, when Bloomingdale's offer it to you, when Nordstrom's, you're just like, okay.
Right.
Because a lot of our minds, my credit bad anyway, so why not see what I can get? Right? Right?
No, that's
real talk. It is.
Inner dialogue for sure.
Exactly. Then when they get that, wow, I got approved for $500 here.
Yeah.
Now that triggers the domino effect. Well, let me see if I go over there if I get approved for the same thing.
Right.
So those shoes that I had to wait 2 weeks until I got paid for it, I can get them now.
When I could just wait 2 weeks, or you get forced into the circle where a lot of people are in. They can no longer get approved for anything, so you have to wait the 2 weeks, and you still got bad credit. So it's like it's a vicious circle for sure.
And then what does that do to your mindset? It makes you feel limited, don't it?
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you got a glass ceiling, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
That's
in a box.
That's what these big banks want. You know how the credit agencies make money, right? The credit bureaus, how they make money? They make money off of selling your information to the banks. How do you think all these pre-approval letters come? How do you think they know what your credit look like and all that? They get all this information from the credit bureaus. And the lower your credit score is, the more valuable your lead is, because they can hit you a higher interest rate. See, me, I'm at a 750. What's the most you're going to try to charge me? 2 or 3%? But someone with a 615, 620, they can hit with some subprime rates of 17% to 20%. And they even know the mindset of someone with a credit score that low. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I can look at someone and talk to them for 5 minutes, and I can pretty much put together where their financial situation is.
Got you. You got anything?
I mean, more so for me, it's kind of like, so say someone's coming in, it's low. We'll say like 500, right? Like, how do they start to begin to build up better credit? Like, what would you say is a kind of like a rule of thumb or a piece of advice that you could be like, all right, if you don't know where to start, here's a simple.
Pay your bills on time. That's number one start. That's the number one factor of your credit score. Is paying your bills on time. Paying your bills on time is considered paying within 29 days of your due date. So if your car note is due on the 1st, don't pay no later than the 29th. Number 2 is stop taking on unnecessary debt. I would see people go out and get car notes before they even have an apartment, or they'll go out and max out their credit cards and I don't even have a job, and it's got a bunch of bull crap that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So if you don't have a job, if you don't have the income, stop using your credit cards unless you literally going to die if you don't. And then the last thing, this rule of thumb, this is something everyone can go with. Just stop applying for new credit if you're not 100% sure if you want to get approved for it or not.
That's
even a secure card, you can still get denied for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely can. So I'm going to use myself a little bit as an example. I like to be transparent on the show. I don't have perfect credit at all. Like I said, I've been
like 67% of other people.
Yeah, I've used credit repair companies before, and right now my situation is I'm kind of at like a standstill because the only thing that I have really affecting my credit, is student loans, which is something that from what I heard, a lot of credit repair companies can't really help with.
Yeah.
How true is that?
Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up. So it was one person I definitely want to shout out because I wouldn't be where I'm at without her, and that's the student loan doctor. That's her name on Instagram as well.
We have her coming up.
We have her coming up in a couple weeks.
She is the person who works with people on getting their student loans on the right track, whether it's a payment plan, forgiveness programs, just making sure that cause a lot of people don't even know how many loans they have or when it's due or how to consolidate them or go through the process.
Settlement or whatever.
Right. So she will work with my clients as far as making sure that student loans are taken care of as far as on some type of payment plan, because most people have federal loans. People are like, well, can you get my student loans deleted? I'm like, yeah, but there's probably a bigger problem there.
Yeah.
If you don't pay these people, they would take your income tax check.
Yep.
They would take your retirement.
They will go on your pay.
Yeah,
they will
garnishments.
They will garnish stuff from you. It's a really bad debt to have.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, yes, I can. I actually just posted a results on my Instagram page, the Credit Mechanic page on Instagram, and you see that student loans were removed because people always ask you what can be removed, what can't be removed. It's not about what can and what can't. It's what's in violation and what's not.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People are like, can you get repos removed? Well, if all the ducks lined up and if the T's aren't crossed and the I's aren't dotted, then yeah, they can.
Right.
But it doesn't mean your repo is going to get removed.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people think, oh, you got my cousin and my uncle and my aunt repo removed. Aren't you the repo removal expert? I'm like, well, if you just got a repo last month and they literally know your name on the first name basis, it's going to be a little bit harder than someone that repoed a year or two ago.
Everybody's situation is different because everybody's credit looks different. Yeah, so it's been a little bit of a struggle because that student loan thing, it kills you in several different ways. Because I even have mine currently right now in like deferment basically, but it doesn't take away, which is a good thing, but it doesn't take away from the missed payments that I had previously that are currently affecting the credit score. Because my car note's good, everything else is good, my credit card is good, but the student loan thing can definitely hurt you depending on what it looks like.
Now here's the thing with that, because I had these situations happen all the time. Come to me, hey, I just got a few late payments on my student loan, wanted to get removed. I go through all the laws I can, boom, they delete the whole loan off. But guess what? Your credit score just dropped. Why did it drop? Because you might have had 3 missed payments, but you had 29 on-time payments. Deferred is considered on time as well.
Yeah.
So me removing that, I just killed 35% of your score. So it's kind of like one of those necessary evils sometimes.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like, well, look,
you have to
I'm
take
just
a hit.
You know, there's a risk that more than just delayed payments might come off. It's like when you treating someone for cancer. It's like you can't guarantee you might not kill any good cells as well.
Right.
It's just the nature of the beast. Like you shouldn't have been late in the first place. And that's what I always try to put the accountability back on the person. At the end of the day, we knew what we was doing. You knew when you was filling out that FAFSA, you would just click, give me all that grant, give me all those refund checks and all that. Now that, you grew up a little faster than you thought you were, now it's like, man, I really got to deal with this now.
Accountability.
That's what I think it was in our early 20s, late teens. Oh, yeah, just run everything up on FAFSA and I'll get a good job.
Yeah.
And
I paid off, right?
Yeah.
They're $100,000 in debt.
What's $400 a month in student loans when I'm making $80,000 a year?
I was gonna win the lottery and just pay it off.
Wishful thinking, right? So before we go to a quick break, I do have a quick question for you as far as people checking their scores.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times people you get one free credit report a year, correct?
Yep.
But then you go on to freecreditreport.com or TransUnion or Equifax.com, and then they say, but pay us $19.95 a month for us to continue to keep tracking it, right? Do you recommend that people are constantly looking at their credit, or is it something that they can do with something like Credit Karma?
Absolutely. So I believe everyone should have some type of credit monitoring service, only because it does more than just monitor your credit report. It protects you from identity theft. When I say protects you from identity theft, that means if somebody goes run your credit or try to open up something in your name, you're going to be the first person to know about it. Yeah. And then once that happens, if you have a good credit monitoring service, it will, take care of all the legwork for you as far as attorney fees, court fees, any investigations need to be done. So Credit Karma does not do that. They do not provide any protection at all. This gives you a little alert if something happens on your Equifax or TransUnion. Yeah. So if something's happening on your Experian right now, Credit Karma wouldn't tell you.
Right.
And Experian is just as important as the other two. So, you know what I'm saying?
If anybody want to try to take my identity, they're going to be highly upset. They're like, nah, we good. You did more than I do, bruh.
Credit Karma is free for a reason. It's free because they want to try to influence your decision to go with their advertising partners.
Sure.
If everybody go on Credit Karma right now and you scroll to the bottom, you can read their affiliate agreement that they have. Like, hey, we ain't saying you guarantee to get approved for so we just let you know they giving us a check. Right. So we're gonna
here's some recommendations.
We're gonna allocate them based on how much they're paying us.
Of course. How else do they make money?
See, Lexington Law, that's $100 commission they get just for you clicking on their website. Just for them getting a lead is $100. So it's in their best interest to sway your decisions in any way you see fit. So with me, I actually partner with a company, and in partnership with Smart Credit, we came out with CreditMechanicsScore.com.
Okay.
So Credit Mechanics Score, even though it's not free like Credit Karma, it's like Credit Karma on steroids.
Okay.
You get all 3 credit reports, all 3 credit scores. It refreshes every month, so you're not just going off that one free report you got for the year. You got, you know, ongoing updates, and it also refreshes your TransUnion score every day. Even Credit Karma doesn't do that. They do it like every 4 or 5 days. I do it every day for TransUnion.
Every day.
Every day. We also give you your hiring risk factor. A lot of people don't know that. You have a hiring credit score. You know, so we give you your hiring risk factor. We also give you your car insurance score.
Okay.
And we also give you a way to directly communicate with your creditors. So let's say we have someone who's done with the credit repair process, and they still have maybe one collection on there we wasn't able to get off. They can set up, they can negotiate a settlement where they can pay a certain amount off, and they'll delete it on their behalf. They can do it all through my, you know, similar to Credit Karma and CreditMechanicsScore.com.
Okay.
See, a lot of people just say, oh, go on Credit Karma and dispute everything. I just told you guys, number one, they don't even include Experian. Okay. Number two, you can't dispute on Credit Karma with Equifax. You gotta go directly on their website.
I think it actually routes you to their website.
And then worst of all, you never want to dispute online because you waive your rights when you do that. You're why would you want to go dispute something that they got wrong in their own system?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. See, the way I do it through certified mail, signature return. I can prove that it touched someone's hand. I have a copy what was sent to them. So if it ever gets to court, which sometimes it does, I have all my ducks in a row where you just have your little online dispute.
Cool. Well, when we come back, I want to get into the actual business. Talk about, you know, who is the Philly Credit Mechanic team for? Like, everyone doesn't fit the bill for everything, right? So who is the prime customer that would come to your business? And also talk about your book.
Oh, got it.
All right, cool. So when we come back, we have more with Aaron Clark from Philly Credit Mechanics. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here with my boy, Jada Gentleman, on What Ice Radio. We will be right back. We are back, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here on What Ice Radio. And tonight's episode is so good because I'm trying to get my credit up, right? So I was I'll bring somebody in to help me, also help you. We just do it all in one shot.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
We have Aaron.
After Aaron, we got student loan doctor a couple weeks.
Yes, she's coming in to help you guys with those dreadful.
About to be lit for the summer.
Those dreadful student loans, right? Yeah. So we have Aaron Clark here. He is the CEO and the founder of Philly Credit Mechanic. So talk to us a little bit about the business. There are tons of credit repair companies out here, right? But what sets Philly Credit Mechanics aside from a Lexington Law or creditrepair.com or something like that?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. Well, number one, Lexington Law owns creditrepair.com. So, that sets that down right there, the same company. And number two, when clients come to our company, they're dealing with a company that started with someone just like them. You know, I've been every single place my clients been at. From you're trying to get an apartment, nobody would approve you. You're getting denied left and right, and it's to a point where you're embarrassed to talk about your credit.
Oh yeah, I don't bring it up at all.
I used to always
you don't bring it up at all.
I changed the subject.
I thought starting this business would be a bad idea. Cause I'm like, yo, that's like a really private topic.
Yeah,
like, people not
finances.
Want to come follow my Instagram and ask me questions and be vulnerable. But once I seen how big of a problem it was, and people just didn't care,
it's huge.
And that's another thing is I actually care about my clients. Like, I have a problem with my people with African Americans. It's just normal saying, "Oh yeah, everybody credit messed up." No, everybody credit messed up. Like,
it's definitely normal.
You know what I'm saying?
They normalize
like a normal thing. Like when someone in your group of friends have good credit, you're like that.
Like
whoa, you got good credit.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's do it everything.
They still make you.
Or the famous dating question. He got good credit, girl. Like, I hope so.
Exactly.
They still make you.
And I actually care. I actually sometimes some of my clients I care more about their credit than they do. Like they'll tell me, Aaron, I know I've been getting your text messages and your phone calls. I just been so distracted. Look, I'm not gonna let you fall, man. Look, I'm gonna stay on your top. As long as you're paying us, I'm like your personal trainer.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a very grueling process, people. Like I've gone through it before. If you're getting tons of shit in the mail,
yes,
sorry, but you are,
yeah,
and you gotta send it over to them, and you gotta keep track, and it's just like, Lauren, is your credit card only at 35% this month? Or if you want to fix your credit, it's a process. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and that's what scares some of my clients away. Some of them say, "Oh, this is too much."
It's not a quick fix, yeah.
Or they see because I actually create training modules and stuff for my clients when they first get on board. They watch videos where I'm going over exactly what I'm telling y'all. Just keep trying to reinforce it, so when they're out there and I'm not there, I'm like the little credit Casper, and I'm flying over there. Oh, don't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, are you sure you don't want to do that?
Right. The Lexington Law is not doing that because they make money off of you coming back. Whether you've been with them for 2 months or 9 months, they did what, $700 million last year. So
wow.
1, 2, 3 people canceling, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
Whereas with me, I'm a small company. We only have about 10 employees. I'm the CEO, but I'm still in the office. I'm still talking to clients. I'm still present in my company as well. So it's not one of those situations where the owner is so far away you can never touch him. And everyone on my team is certified credit score and credit repair consultants. I actually just got their frames for their certificates earlier. They're cool. All nationally certified, so they're just as credible as I am. So it's not like, if you're not talking to me, you're talking to someone who don't know what they're talking about. No, everybody reports directly to me, and we're all have the same level of credibility as far as certificates and stuff like that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, of course, a lot of people don't want to fix their credit with credit companies because there's a fee attached to it.
I love talking about that.
So, can you talk a little bit about that? Why? It's an investment, correct?
Right, of course. Well, this is what I tell people with bad credit. You're going to pay for it regardless.
Yeah.
When you go to buy a car and your interest rate is 19% instead of 9%, for example, my services are only $87 a month. Very, very affordable. And every time I dig in someone's budget, I always find money for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't afford it this month. Well, that's less than it's literally less than $4 a day, right?
Yeah.
We eat that and
that's a bill, yeah.
That's going out to dinner. Real talk.
Cut the Netflix off, cut the Hulu off, pack a lunch 5 days a week.
And you're good
And you're good.
Yeah.
And then that car you want so bad we're going to approve you with any credit score we're going to approve you for, you're going to pay an extra $200-$300 a month versus someone like me. The last interest rate I remember having was a 1.99. That means I could finance a $20,000 car and might only pay $100 or $200 in interest, where you with a 19-20% might pay $2,000-$3,000 in interest.
Tell me about it.
So it's like you're going to pay for it regardless, and that's why my money back guarantee is predicated on 75 to 200 points. So if your score doesn't go up by at least 75 points, or we don't get you any deletions within 6 months, we'll give you your money back. Because once your score goes up by 75 points, if you was to refinance or finance anything at that time, that's how much money the difference would be as far as the interest you'll get.
So, but do you put a time frame on it? So
6 months. We have a 6 month turnaround time. Now, 6 month turnaround time means improvement, not taking you from a 400 to an 850.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just said 75, so that's kind of like the threshold.
Yeah,
right?
I tell people that if you don't see at least 75 points, or I don't get any debts deleted off, I did not render you a service. Here go your money back.
Gotcha.
I'm the only company with
that's
that.
fair.
Lexington Law will not give you your money back.
No, absolutely not.
CreditRepair.com will not give you your money back.
Right.
99, because it's so much time that goes in it. It's like, how do I put all this time in for 6 months and don't get this person anything, and I just lose our money?
Yeah, there's nothing to show for it.
That's why they usually say in their agreements, we don't guarantee anything. But that's because their system is not bulletproof like mine.
Okay.
See, me, I know for a fact, if you do everything I say, it's impossible. I never had to give anyone their money back. Never.
So I have
100% guarantee.
100% guarantee,
Eric
right?
That's what he just said.
No.
How about so far?
No, the only reason I'm going to say that, think about me as a personal trainer. I could be the best personal trainer to you the 3 days you're with me.
It depends on that person.
I can't control if you go eat,
pizza every day.
And stuff right. So then I can't go around. That's why you ever see them Herbalife commercials and all that. Well,
yes.
This person lost 80
Trust
pounds.
me, we see them.
Right.
Yeah, because they cannot predict what that person
you're
is
going
to
do.
Or
Yeah.
I might get that one credit report that I've never seen before in my life.
Right.
So that's why, and then it's also a violation of the Credit Repair Organization Act. If you see anyone on Instagram or anything like that guaranteeing you or promise you,
don't go to that person.
Yeah. See, I have a money back guarantee.
Right.
But I don't have a guarantee that we're going to get everything 100%
Exactly.
done.
But we're going to try really hard.
Just like any lawyer you hire,
right.
any personal trainer, any weight loss, even your doctor.
Right.
Hey, here, this secure your sickness. Well, what if it doesn't? Well, come back. We'll give you some more stuff. Like,
right. That makes sense. So you led me into my next question. Just in general, if someone decides not to go with the Philly Mechanic team, but I wouldn't recommend that, what should someone look out for with these other companies?
Oh, absolutely. Number one, if you have to pay any money up front, like they be like, oh, how much to fix my credit? $400, you should automatically walk away. Because that's another violation of the credit repair organization act. I bill people the $87. They don't pay that up front.
Okay.
Because you're paying $400, and then what's happening?
Right.
What's
it going to?
Exactly. Nothing has been done yet. See, when I'm billing you for the hours that I put into me communicating with your creditors, me coaching you. I'm billing you for a service. Someone that's paying $400 up front without a service being rendered, that's illegal. And then the thing is, what if that person took your money and don't do anything for 6 months?
Yeah. There's no incentive for them to, they got your money.
They can stop.
They got their money.
They got their money. They can keep it moving.
Where with me, I got to work for every dollar I get. Because $87 is not a lot of money for the time we put in.
Sure.
That's why we pride ourselves on our support and our trainings and keeping you involved. We have text messages that go out, emails that go out. We do, if anything, we harass our clients. Like, yo, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. I do a live webinar with all my clients on Facebook every Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So... but back to what your question was, another thing is stay away from companies that's priding themselves on selling things like trade lines and CPNs. Now, trade lines being legal is kind of a gray area because basically what you're doing is you have good credit, he has bad credit. I'm going to charge him $500. We're going to split it, and you're going to put him as an authorized user on your credit card. So now all your payment history hit his.
That's such a good question.
Right.
Piggybacking. Right. Can I use that term?
Go ahead, yeah.
People, that's like old school. Like everybody like, yo, get your mom to put you as authorized user on your credit card, on her credit card, and then it will reflect as a good on me. Yeah. Is that like the dumbest? Is that stupid? Or is that real?
It all see, that's another variable. All right, has this person ever been late on his credit card? Is this person a frequent, card maxer? Is this someone you had a good relationship with?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
On both sides. You might sell a trade line to somebody. They might call up, hey, I never got the credit card. Can you send it to me? Now they have a credit card connected to someone else's name, and they can ruin it.
Ruin it, yeah.
There's so many bad things that can happen. That's why though I do show my clients how to do piggybacking and stuff like that, I don't try to get too much involved. Because another thing is, it's like you buying a trade line when you got bad credit is like putting a Band-Aid over a fresh wound that they haven't scabbed up or nothing yet. Like it's just like not even a Band-Aid, but literally like just some Neosporin. You just put little stuff on there. Yeah, it helps. But if you still got negative items on your credit, a trade line's only gonna help us so much. Cause all a trade line does is speed up the rebuilding process. That's all it does. So if you're just rebuilding your credit without getting any negative items removed, it might only go up 20 points, 30 points at the most. Right. But if you still got a bunch of late payments and collections, it's not going to go up to a 700, no matter how many trade lines you buy.
Yeah. So really quick, your book. So I feel like are you giving people everything that you would do with your company in the book so they don't have to go through the service, or is it a little bit different?
I give people basically a roadmap on what to do to prevent their credit from getting messed up and how to maintain good credit. My second book that I'm about to release, because I had to do a licensed attorney before I can go really into detail with the disputing process and stuff like that, because credit repair is a legal process. That's another thing. If the credit repair company you're working with doesn't work with a licensed attorney, then they're probably a scam and just someone just getting letters offline and just send them out on your behalf. So this second book I'm about to release is going to be more of, if you really want to do it yourself, if you read everything in this book, you will not need credit repair. And the only reason I'm comfortable with releasing something like that, because I know most of you won't read it. But I want to have it available for the people who do read it.
And most people don't have the time. Just to be honest with you, most people don't want to do.
It's time consuming for me. That's how I made a business out of it.
I was going to say, I'm that person. I pay for convenience. I want you to do it.
Yeah.
If you can take care of it for me, and you just tell me, Lauren, I need you to do X, Y, Z. Fax me over some papers, but I need to make sure that you're doing that. I'm cool. I don't want to print out any letters. I don't want to mail it. I don't want to do any of that.
And it's cutting your learning curve, because I've been through this and been doing this for years, and I've seen hundreds of different files. So just having that person, I tell people I pay more than $87 a month just for mentorship, just for someone to teach me about something. So the fact that we're teaching you, we're giving you the monitoring, we give you the tools. Most of our clients see deletions within 90 days. If I get one item deleted, you got your money's worth.
Yeah.
Because that item's going to be on there for 7 years,
For
whether
7
you
years.
paid it or not.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
That's a good way of putting it.
So I tell people, if I get 3, because some people actually get, upset when they have like 20 items and only 17 come off. There's still 3 left. Bro, you know where you was.
You just had 20.
Get an apartment.
Right.
Now you got an apartment in the car. Now you fancy now. Now you got to be
Right. You're like, I need those other 3.
That's just disrespectful.
Yeah, really.
Expectation thing.
Wow.
I deleted all of someone's student loans. They gave me a 1-star review because their credit score dropped.
Wow.
And I told him that was going to happen.
But they wanted them to.
But he didn't want to build his credit the way I told him to do it. See, some people, I get those sometimes. They want to come to me and do their own thing.
It's like, why you even come to you?
Yeah. If I say do this, that, and that, well, I don't want to do that.
Well, it's nice meeting you. Like,
do you believe that some business? That was one of my questions. Not if some business not worth it, but are there some people you just can't help?
Oh, absolutely. And the only people I can't help are the people who mentally don't want to help themselves. I don't get too many of these people because I have like a 96% satisfaction rate.
Okay.
I have over 200 5-star reviews on Google. Anyone can Google me and see all the amazing reviews I have. You can go on Facebook. And usually all of the 1-star reviews are usually from individuals who had a wrong expectation of what credit repair was. No matter what we had in the contract, no matter what it says in the website. Like I had this one review, and I never, because as a business owner, we take that like kind of personal.
Absolutely.
It hurt me because I remember a young lady. Anybody can go to my Instagrams right now, it will always say click the link in my bio. You even say book right there. Everything points to setting up an appointment because we're just so overwhelmed. We can't handle calls that's coming in. Everyone sets up an appointment.
Yeah.
My grandmother has to set up an appointment.
Wow.
Okay? Like, it's just how it goes. It keeps us structured, so we don't want to be one of those black-owned companies that's not professional, that's not structured. So I try to get people what they want.
That's another episode.
That's another episode for another day.
Yeah. What they want, and it's like, all right. So I'll never forget it. And she said that in the review, she said, well, I went on a link on his website, and it was just a website. Right, which was telling you, to book an appointment. So she decided, because the next appointment wasn't for 2 weeks, she was going to do her own thing, find my email that I don't even broadcast, emails us. We say, hey, just give us a call. We'll set up the appointment. Never calls us. Then she gives us her number. Was the wrong number, because it was also a time difference because she was also in California. So we're trying to make up for the time difference and it being the wrong number. So we're like, okay. So then she shoots me a DM and was like, hey, I shot you an email. And I said, well, hey, you have to set an appointment. And he said, well, this is the type of service I can expect. And I'm like, well,
you haven't done anything.
I don't know what I can do to help. I don't know what I can do to help you because the number one reason I make people set appointments is going to test how patient you are. See, if you're not patient enough to wait 2 weeks for something that took you 2 years to mess up, you're not my type of client.
Right. I was just gonna say like that doesn't add up. Like,
because why do you want me to rush to get to you?
Yeah.
Don't you want me to take my time, make sure I take care of everyone along the road to you?
Because they think it's an overnight thing. People think that the credit repair
is
is
magic.
They think it's magic,
yeah,
and it's so not magic. And people get frustrated. I've been one of those people that's been frustrated along the way. Like, I haven't seen any movement. What's going on? What are you guys doing? Whatever.
And I will always say, come on in for a review. I always tell people, come to the office. We have a little collage of all our clients that ever came to our office just to show how few of them are. Out of like 1,000 clients, maybe only 10, 15 of them came into the office. And out of that 1,000, maybe 600 of them live in Philly. Because a lot of people, they rather complain than to help themselves. They rather
easier.
They rather go on Facebook and rant than to pick up a phone. Aaron, I don't understand this thing. Can you help me?
Right.
I never met like a group of people that were so afraid to pick up a phone.
Oh, that's
like,
a whole other episode
text.
for another time.
Email, text, email.
They don't know how to talk to people.
The clients that have success in my program are the ones that follow the steps without questioning it. They call when they have questions, and they're actually serious about it.
So I want to like, I guess off the psychology of that, is it because of like they're too proud or they don't want to admit that they're vulnerable? Like what?
There's a few reasons for that. Number one is arrogance. I run into that with males all the time.
Really?
They be like, oh well, I know all about credit. I just don't.
Do you? Why are you here?
Why are you calling?
Right.
Oh man, I get those all the time. Oh yeah, well I do know credit, but I just made a few mistakes, so I didn't even. There's always the people that got like 30 collections that I just need a little thing.
Yeah.
Cleaned up,
Couple
not
little,
too much.
Meanwhile.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's going on. Another thing is just that they were just not taught these responsible habits growing up. So I'm trying to tell a bunch of people that were never taught how to budget, they were never taught about credit. Listen, everything you've been doing for the last 15 years has been wrong. You got to do things my way now.
Yeah.
That hurts a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Adults, especially adults.
Oh, man. I tell people, my clients are like my children. And I don't say that in a condescending or disrespectful way. It's just that I kind of got to give them that extra little nudge.
Tough,
Even keep them motivated. You know how many, like on my Facebook group for my clients, some of them just post this event. Like, I just had 3 things deleted, but my score dropped 100 points. Like, guys, have you ever went through anything like this? Then one of my clients who've been with me for probably like 5 months would comment, girl, I went through the same thing in my second month. Did you get that second line of credit that Aaron said get?
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's to the point in my client group, my clients answer their own each other's questions. I barely have to respond anymore.
You did the work.
Because once someone been with me for like 4 or 5 months, they know the game.
Yeah.
Now they just waiting to see.
It's patience. You gotta wait and see, man.
That's crazy. I like that question because it's like a lot of people either prideful, they're kind of embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's another being just embarrassed about what's going on.
And a lot of people don't want to change either.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people don't see. In my book, I talk about my journey with that. I talk about how I got a crock pot and I stopped eating out, and how I went from T-Mobile to Metro because it was only $40 a month for unlimited everything. That's what I used for my hotspot. I had to cut my cable and stuff off. Like, no one wants to hear about that.
No.
But they want to see the Jag, and they want to say, oh, how are you able to travel all these countries? And like, I got American Express.
It's like a bunch of sacrifices you got to do.
A lot of people don't want to.
And they don't want to do it.
So you just mentioned something. So, or do you have a separate service where you're talking about budgeting and financing as well, or do you put that all in together?
Yeah, so with creditmechanicscore.com, that's another thing I forgot to mention. You can plug in your bank account and all your bills that you can like pay online, and they'll have everything on the dashboard for you to keep you on track with paying your bills and putting money to the side. I tell people about an app all the time called Stash. I also tell my clients, you should invest your money even if you're only starting with even if you're only starting with $5 or $10. Start doing something. Yeah. And let that just be a little emergency account because you can always cash it out.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Just start doing something because you never know in 10, 15 years it might compound into $50,000.
Yeah, that's true.
I try to hit my clients in all areas of their finances without going too much in detail. Like I said, I can only do so much for the little money that I do charge. So that's why I try to put out videos and the lives and the training, stuff that can speak to everyone without being too specific. And then when they need that specific help, just call in.
So I feel like it's like, as far as someone coming in, is like, admit that you need help, take some sacrifices, and do everything you say.
And let's admit that I did this journey before you. Everybody always say, oh, I probably got everybody credit is worse than the last person. Oh, you ain't never seen no credit like mine. I think in my whole career doing this, I only met one person that had worse credit than mine. So when I say she owed everybody, she owed everybody. But even though she promised not to say her name because she's somebody, she just got her Mercedes-Benz last month.
There you go.
And she's a tourist too, so
she put that work in. She put that work in.
Yeah.
So when we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to do the Lauren Rei Live wrap up. So we want to know what's next for Aaron and also what's next for the company. Kind of talked about another book that you're about to bring out. But anything else, we're going to definitely talk about that. And I am surprisingly going to give my own review so far that I've been dealing with your company.
Over.
Really?
You don't know that.
Straight
See?
from the source.
I saved that for last.
Straight from
I
the
didn't
source.
know
Surprise. Right? Exclusive.
Okay.
So we're going to do that at the wrap up when we come right back. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here with Aaron Clark and my boy Jay the Gentleman. This is Water Ice Radio. Well, don't go anywhere, guys. Hey everybody, we're back. This is your girl Lauren Rei right here on Water Ice Radio. And again, we have Mr. Aaron Clark here. He is the CEO and he is the founder of Philly Credit Mechanics. Make sure you guys go check them out. They can check you out on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff, right, Aaron?
Yep, it's Philly Credit Mechanic on Facebook and it's just Credit Mechanic on Instagram.
Okay, cool. There you go. And the website is
phillycreditmechanic.com.
Yes.
Make sure you look it up on Google. We're the #1 rated credit repair company in the trust.
#1.
There you go. So before we went on break, I said I wanted to share my own experience with the Philly Credit Mechanic team.
Testimonial.
Yeah. So the team.
I'm nervous.
No,
You're in the hot seat now.
No, your team is dope. I actually found out about your services through a friend of the show, Nicole Purvey. She was actually here on the show.
Yeah, we got Nicole Purvey.
And I was on her Instagram page and I saw your interview with her and I was like, all right, this guy seems to know what he's talking about, right? So let me go check out the site. So signed up for a consultation and someone was on it like right away. Like maybe I got an email back from someone the next day actually. And I was like, okay, first time, this looks good so far. But I had homework to do. So it was before we talk to you, we need you to watch this video. So you can kind of sort of know. I was like, they want me to watch a video. Like, oh, what's going on here? I was like, oh, but I got some time at the desk. I can go take a look at it. And it was actually you, Aaron, giving us kind of a little sort of a tutorial about why credit is important and what are some of the steps you're going to take through this process. So right after that, I then set up an appointment to talk about. She was like, well, did you watch the video? Did you do this? I actually had to sign up for one of those monthly credit monitoring services as well. And it really flowed. Like the conversation was really seamless. She was like, you don't have to be embarrassed about anything. The phone conversation was actually maybe like 30 minutes because she literally went through the report with me and said, okay, it looks like you have this on here. We could definitely, hopefully take care of that. That's how I kind of discovered the thing that was hurting me the most was my missed payments on my student loans, basically. And also, you guys, that I have a credit card, which is great, which is a secure credit card actually with my bank, but I don't have anything else. So she was kind of letting me know with some other options that we have for you that can probably continue to help boost your credit by having another line of credit. So I was really, really impressed with the time that the team took with me in that first consultation period.
Nice.
So
that was all within the first consultation period.
That was all in the
wow,
first
that's
conversation.
awesome.
Which is free, by the way.
Wow.
Which is free, exactly.
Wow. That's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
So there was no pressure to sign up at the right after the consultation. People would love to know that. And she was like, well, how are you feeling? And I was like, I need just a little time to think about it. And like I was just telling you on the break, my hesitation is because I've done this before, not really gotten the results nor the knowledge that I feel like I should gain from giving someone hundreds of my dollars, right? So, but it was like a personal trainer. Like someone contacted me the following week and said, you just want to check in with you. I continuously got text messages stating, watch this video. Is like another steps about different things about credit. So it's a really good experience. I definitely would recommend it to anybody. I would definitely say that after this interview and after the consultation, I definitely feel comfortable with knowing that your team not only knows what they're doing, but what you said was key was that they care about people's credit and care about the end all be all. Most people are just trying to take your bread. Let's just be clear about that. You know what I mean? If we get you some results, great. If we don't,
sorry, I got your money.
Try. That's literally my last experience. I don't know when I've emailed them like, hey, can I get an update?
Yeah. What's
no,
good?
You done taking my money for the last 7 months? You don't have anything to say to me? All right, cool. You know what I mean? So that can be put standoffish for anyone, but you guys are consistent. You are that personal trainer. And everybody hates that personal trainer. It's like, ugh. Like one of
holding you accountable.
Holding you accountable, because technically your credit is your credit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that is the big piece of it. You guys credit mechanics can only give you the tools and decide if you guys want to use it. So I definitely would let anybody out there know. I mean, especially you guys, when you think about it, $87 a month is not a lot of money. We go out on the weekend, we go to the bar, we get turned up, we get some drinks and some food. $87 goes really, really quick. So
I'm mad if I spend that much at the club.
I know you are. But,
it's not even just that. I think the number one thing that makes me different from everyone else is just like, even when you said that you were a client of mine, I didn't know about it. See, imagine this podcast thing you have right here, right? Imagine this is started out as like a live video you did on your Instagram when you were bored or something like that. Then it grew to you interviewing people like Nikki Purvey and all these heavy hitters in Philadelphia. Just watching your company unravel to that. I never thought I would have to hire people and get an office and even get an EIN number and all that. I really slipped and fell into this. And so for her to say, well, I'm a client of yours, I remember when every consultation was done by me. I did everything. And then it got to a point I was growing so fast. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to compromise my quality of service just because I'm growing. Because that's what a lot of new business owners do. They don't want to invest money back in their company. And then that's when they service start falling off. And it just makes me just feel good knowing that
you're doing
I'm taking care of people that gave me the lifestyle that I wanted. Because that's another reason I'm so emotionally invested in my company. Because I was poor before Philly Credit Mechanic, like broke. Like that's how my credit got bad in the first place. And for me to go from literally rags to riches, and I hate to say that cliche line, but it's true. Like I never had a foreign car in my life. I never been in a point in my life where I'm not worrying about how I'm gonna pay the next bill the next month. And that's only because I helped so many people. So to say that I can tell, my daughter can tell people that like, yo, I help people with their finances. And this is why we live the way we do. That's a blessing. When you can look at everything you got and say, I help people. That's what got me here.
Financial freedom. That's the goal, right?
Practicing what you preach.
For sure.
Man.
So what's next for you? I know you said you had the book. Do you know when it's coming out?
Well, me and my attorney friend, we're still ironing out the exact details, because it's like, now that I'm doing this with an attorney, I'll make sure everything is perfect. I gotta make sure the cover is perfect. There's a catchy name to it, and I have, as far as the infrastructure, all the information on credit repair down pretty good. But I want to kind of fuse it with kind of what I did with my first book, where I'm being really transparent and personal. So it's kind of keeping the reader engaged, so they'll have enough attention span to go through the information part.
Relatable.
Nice.
I definitely see this based on our projections I did with my accountant. I definitely see Philly Credit Mechanic becoming $1 million company.
Nice.
By this time next year.
Good.
And do that at 26 is,
that's
definitely
amazing.
a blessing. I also definitely want to keep growing my team, creating more job opportunities. I mean, I created 10. I went from being, my job fired me. That's how I really started this company. My job fired me while I was doing this part-time. And I said,
blessing in disguise.
I'm not going back to a job. And the fact that I created 10 different opportunities, especially for my own people, they now that money is rotating within us, and I want to create more opportunities and eventually become a hub in Philadelphia. I want... Oh yeah, that Philly Credit Vacation on board area. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like,
can you imagine, like how you say you want to build your from 10 to, we'll say 100, like 100 of you guys where you actually care in this city, how much y'all gonna help the city? That's crazy.
That can change. That can change the economy of the city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's
more,
amazing.
More millennials buying houses. They're not
starting
their money
businesses
on car. Right. They're understanding businesses and stuff like that. Because eventually, I'm gonna make a whole community this off of like keeping people woke on stuff like this.
Absolutely.
Before you buy that car,
yeah.
You lay back for 5 years.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Like
Yeah.
You be living like this. You be living like this.
And it's like you could speak from it because you've been there.
And then on my personal Instagram, that's why I try to show the good credit lifestyle. I didn't get that jag for me. I got it for everyone else to show you guys. You take care of your credit, you can drive a car like this. You take care of your credit, American Express will pay for you to go on these vacations because it's all in their rewards program. That's why the annual fee is so high.
Right.
And then it can motivate them, like, you know what, this credit thing is actually kind of cool. It's cool having good credit.
Yeah.
That is... If people knew that from the rip, that it's cool to have good credit, I think we have more people that will be not like you said. Some people just don't care.
Is it not cool to just walk in the bank, sign a piece of paper? Here's $50,000.
That's a beautiful thing.
I had it happen. Trust me, I know.
You don't know it until you need it or something, and then you're like, huh? What? I did. What are you talking? What T-Mobile bill? What those bills you like? Man, I'll go to Sprint, and you be like, nah, I don't feel like paying Comcast this month. I'll just go over to Verizon. And then like 6 years later, you're like, oh no, you can't get what you really need because of all of those things back on you.
Or like, even how they treat you at a dealership. You know how much different they treat you at a dealership where you ain't gonna have no down payment. What?
Champagne.
When I got my Jag, they would not let me leave.
No,
I wanted to go to the Audi dealership afterwards, right? Because I couldn't get the range like I wanted to. Man, they said, what's your favorite food? And I said, well, I really like, shrimp Alfredo, but I only said that because I doubt they could order it. I knew what they was trying to do.
The most random shit.
Man, they found this entire restaurant up in Willow Grove, ordered me shrimp Alfredo, linguine, all that stuff, man. Got me my favorite coffee. Like, they would not let me leave. And another thing about this.
I wish I could get them Jordans.
Before you got the car?
Before I even got the car. Oh, I didn't even tell you about this. They let me take the car home for a week before I bought it.
They did that to one of my friends that has a range. They let her take the car home.
Try it out.
See, it's a different level when you got good credit. They know you coming back. They know you coming back. Like, you coming back.
That's
and
another
you
level.
also drove the car. You like get comfortable with it. Like you like it.
This is cute.
You about to drop $90,000 on that car. You better be able to take it home.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. But you are definitely changing the world out here. That is really, really dope. Again, everybody, make sure you guys check out the Philly Credit Mechanics. You can go to their website. You can go to their Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I definitely see you hopefully doing some of this stuff in the schools. Our schools need this, especially our inner city schools. Our kids need to know about credit.
Who he needs to link up with?
Who?
Chris Banks.
Yeah, Thanksgiving that does the Thanksgiving.
He does financial literacy to high school students in the city. Yeah.
Definitely.
He does like once a month different seminars.
I actually spoke at Norristown before on credit, and I was surprised how much those kids knew about it.
Not to go off subject, but his turnouts are amazing. So I definitely gotta link up for sure.
That'll be definitely dope because our schools, that is a piece that our schools are missing. There's some shit that they're teaching that is we need them to know about how they're going to get to the next level once they get out of school, what that really actually looks like.
Absolutely.
So that is really, really dope. Again, Aaron, thank you so much for coming through.
And you said you were in the military, so happy Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, technically Memorial Day for
that's true. That's true. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
You made it.
Thank you for your service.
You made it.
I'll take Veterans Day.
We'll take you back. We'll get you back up on Veterans Day.
And Flag Day, all these other.
I'll take that.
Word. 4th of July.
We're glad that you're still here.
Yeah.
Right? All right, everybody. That is it for the Lauren Rei Live Show on Water Ice Radio. We will be back next week. Oh, it's June already.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it?
Yes.
6 months into the year. We got 6 months to go.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good stuff coming up for you guys. Please do not miss it. And never, ever forget, not all superheroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear headphones. Peace, everybody.
Peace.